As an executive, your time is incredibly constrained as you chart the course for your organization. Every decision you make impacts growth, innovation, and the overall trajectory of your business. Understanding your market, staying ahead of trends, and making informed, strategic calls is paramount, and so is getting urgent tasks done while you're on the go. This section introduces you to the power of AI-generated prompts designed to streamline your decision-making, help improve business outcomes, and assist you in getting your tasks done quickly, even if you're not at your desk. Discover how Gemini for Google Workspace can help you unlock deep insights, foster collaboration, and propel your organization to new heights. To get started, please don't forget the 4 areas: persona, task, context, format to write an effective prompt. And please enable Gemini for Google Workspace by go to Settings, Extensions, turn on the Google Workspace if it's not enabled. Each prompt below is presented with an accompanying scenario to serve as inspiration for how you can collaborate with Gemini for Workspace. The prompt iteration example illustrates how you can continue to write prompts to build on the initial generated response. We also provide examples of how different leadership roles can use Gemini for Workspace. You can adjust each prompt to accomplish common tasks and refine the generated output. Prompt iteration example: you are an executive about to board a long flight, and you just received an invitation for the next board meeting with an agenda. You have a couple of comments, and you want to propose adding a few topics to the agenda. The Help Me Write function with Gemini in Google Docs is not available for free Gemini accounts. It requires access through a paid plan. So you open Gemini and type the following: draft an email confirming that I will be at the board meeting. Ask if we can adjust the agenda to give 15 minutes to discuss about financial performance. Now copy this into Gmail composing window by selecting and copying subject and the content that Gemini has just generated for you. Edit those text in brackets to match your informations. You read the email and select Insert. Before sending it, you make a light edit to thank the team for keeping you on track while traveling. Next, if you're a chief operating officer, in case of preparing for employee communications, you might want to hosting a quarterly town hall meeting with the entire company. There's been a lot of positive progress and momentum this quarter, but you're worried that multiple teams have low morale after unforeseen setbacks. You want to brainstorm and practice how you will respond to potentially tough questions. You open Gemini, and you type, I'm the COO of a mid-sized company. I am hosting a quarterly town hall meeting with the entire company. There has been a lot of positive progress and momentum this quarter, but I am worried that multiple teams have low morale due to some unforeseen setbacks. I want to brainstorm and practice how I will respond to potentially tough questions. Help me write challenging questions that employees may ask at the upcoming town hall about our earnings, leadership changes, and vision of the company. Generate potential answers for each question that use a confident but firm tone. The questions and suggested answers are helpful for your preparation phase. Now, you want to gather ideas on how you can respond empathetically to questions, especially in uncertain times. You prompt again. You type, these questions and suggested answers are helpful in my preparation phase. Now, I want to gather ideas on how I can respond empathetically to questions, especially in uncertain times. Use a confident and reassuring tone to generate responses that acknowledge the concern and let the employees know that we are striving to do our best for the entire company. You want to work backwards from these questions to figure out how you can write uplifting remarks to open the town hall. You decide to brainstorm with Gemini. You open Gemini, and you type, help me write 2 uplifting paragraphs for employees who have just finished a challenging quarter. Acknowledge difficulties and emphasize positives for the upcoming quarter. Use a tone that is motivating, optimistic, and fosters a sense of unity and collaboration. Next, in case of streamlining responses on the go, your plans have suddenly changed as you're managing an urgent task. You can't attend a meeting, and you just need to ensure the team has answers on a few key items. You open Gemini, and you type, draft an email to project leaders letting them know I will not be in the meeting due to an urgent matter. Ask them to take detailed notes and to ensure the team arrives at a decision on advertising in addition to assigning ownership of the post-mortem report to marketing department. Next, if you're a chief marketing officer, in case of brainstorm content and thought leadership, you just came out of a check-in with your social media team leads, you took a lot of notes about what resonates with your audience, trending topics, target audience data, and keywords that are effective in driving engagement with your brand. You want to brainstorm potential thought leadership pieces using these insights. You open Gemini, and you type, generate a list of 4 relevant and engaging thought leadership blog post ideas for company based on trending topics, target audience analysis, and brand keywords. During the same conversation, the team discussed launching a new brand campaign. You know that your customers value your reliable and unique services, and your company has a long history of delivering for customers. You need help getting started with ideas on a new campaign line. You open Gemini, and you type, generate 3 options for a new slogan emphasizing reliability, innovation, and a long history of popularity for company. The slogans are helpful to get you started with the creative process. You have upcoming events that could be the perfect place to test elements of a new campaign. You want to mock up ideas for booth graphics for your events team. You open Gemini, and you type, create an image of a trade show booth using orange and blue colors. The booth should be modern and showcase interactive computer stations. In case of conducting competitive analysis, your team is considering expanding into a new line of business. This is a new area for you, and you want to quickly gain insight into what this would mean for the business. You decide to do research. You open Gemini, and you type, I am a CMO conducting a competitive analysis. My company is considering expanding into a new line of business. Generate a list of the top 5 competitors in the industry and include their pricing, strengths, weaknesses, and target audience. After going deeper in your research, you decide to create a fictitious 5-year strategy to see what this could look like for the company. You open Gemini, and you type, okay, I am going to try to convince my CEO that we should expand into line of business. Draft a concise, competitive strategy for the next 5 years for the industry across North America markets with goals, strategies, and tactics. Next, as a Chief Technology Officer, in case of summarizing emerging technology trends, you need to catch up on emerging technology trends as the landscape is shifting very quickly. You open Gemini, and you type, I am the CTO of a technology company in fast food industry. I want to understand emerging technology trends. Summarize the top 5 emerging technologies with the most significant potential impact on fast food industry. For each technology, list its potential benefits and challenges, and suggest how it could impact my company in the next 2 to 3 years. The summary provided is a useful starting point for your initial research. You want to dig deeper on specific topics. So you continue the conversation by typing, recommend 3 areas where my company can take proactive steps to stay ahead of the curve on production. Next, as a Chief Information Officer, in case of developing technical communications, your team just provided a lengthy technical report on your security posture and key vulnerabilities. You need to address this immediately with the CEO, but you know a multi-page report is too much to digest at this time. You open Gemini, and you type, summarize the key findings and implications of this report for CEO. Focus on the main vulnerabilities identified and the recommended actions to address them. Use a formal tone. The summary is helpful and provides the right level of detail for your CEO. You make light edits and put it at the top of the report as an executive summary. Now, you need to send an email to the CEO to schedule a meeting to discuss. You open Gemini, and you type, help me write an email to my CEO requesting a 30-minute meeting next week to discuss our upcoming IT changes. Include considerations for scalability, security, and data management. Next, as a Chief Human Resources Officer, in case of demonstrating employee appreciation, you want to set up a new program to help everyone feel included, appreciated, and acknowledged across the organization. But with a company this big, you want to be thoughtful in your approach. You want to brainstorm. You open Gemini, and you type, brainstorm 10 employee appreciation ideas based on company culture of technology industry and diverse employee interests such as cooking, gardening, sports, reading, and traveling. Gemini kickstarts your creativity, and now you have ideas for employee interest clubs and events. You also want to ensure your leadership team is regularly encouraging managers to recognize talent on their teams. So you create email templates they can use as inspiration. You open Gemini, and you type, draft an email template that thanks employees for their hard work and recent accomplishments. Offer them an extra perk for their dedication, such as a coffee gift card. Use an upbeat and professional tone. In case of assessing employee satisfaction, you're concerned that your team has been overwhelmed lately. Ahead of your call with your direct reports, you want to draft an anonymous survey that allows people to openly and honestly assess how they are feeling. To draft questions, you open Gemini, and you type, draft an anonymous employee satisfaction survey with questions and answer options that touch upon key areas like workload, work-life balance, compensation, and career growth opportunities. Ensure the questions are clear, concise, and avoid leading answers. You received feedback from 15 senior leaders, and you've gathered all of the anonymous results in a Google document. You want to create a summary that you can use in your next call. You open Gemini, and you type, summarize the results of the employee feedback to identify key themes. As a founder or entrepreneur, in case of developing a competitive analysis, you're a founder of a startup, and your online business is gaining traction. You have always dreamed of opening a brick-and-mortar store, and now might be the perfect time. You want a thought partner to help you better understand the current landscape. You open Gemini, and you type, I am a founder of a startup. I am considering opening a brick-and-mortar store. Conduct an analysis into the competitive landscape focusing on e-commerce. Provide the strengths and weaknesses of Amazon in this area, including their specific strategies, tactics, and results. Identify actionable insights and recommendations for how my company can improve its approach and gain a competitive advantage. You gathered useful information from your discussion with Gemini at gemini.google.com. You want to go deeper in your brainstorming around two competitors in particular. You type, generate a competitive analysis of my company versus Amazon within the current market landscape. You export your findings to a new Google Doc. Next, in case of conducting fundraising and investor relations, you're ready to reach out to potential investors to make your brick-and-mortar store a reality. You want help getting started on an email to investors, so you open Gemini, and you type, draft a personalized email template to potential investors, highlighting my company's unique value proposition and recent progress on retail marketing analytics tool. Request a time to meet to discuss opportunities to collaborate in the next month. The email template gives you a starting place. You tweak the draft and continue to add a few personal touches before sending the email to the potential investors. After a successful meeting with them a month later, you want to draft a thank you message. You open Gemini, and you type, draft an email thanking a potential investor for the call and ask for time to schedule a follow-up meeting to address questions and concerns. In case of managing time-off policies and tracking, you have a lengthy handbook detailing all of your company's policies and procedures. You want to make the time-off request policy easily digestible for new hires. You open Gemini, and you type, generate a step-by-step checklist summarizing the company's time-off request policy. Ensure it is written in plain language and easy for employees to understand.